that is a good way to start, getting your answers. That's a good way to tap into your intuition, to start getting answers back from, your spirit team. That is the second part of prayer, in my opinion, is you've put your questions up. Now let's get the answers. And so you can do that with the automatic writing. Hello and welcome to your reading. This is the Awakened Jen. Today we're going to be doing an ancestor message. I'm going to be using the Ancestor Spirit Oracle. We'll pull 3 cards from this. It's a progression spread just to see what the ancestors have been seeing, and what they want us to know at this time. And then we'll pull a card from the Light Seers Tarot. We'll pull 1 card for each of the oracles to give us some guidance for each one. All right, so I'm actually going to start this one a little different than I have typically been doing. So I decided that I want to bring in some of my preparation that I do before the readings, bring it in now so that you can have a better understanding too of like what is actually happening in this process. All right, so we're going to start by first letting you know that you are very welcome, appreciated, and safe in this space. And to get ourselves grounded and get our energy kind of ready for this exchange, we're going to take some deep breaths. We'll take 3 deep breaths together. So let's start by closing our eyes. And then we're going to take a deep breath in. That's 1. Another deep breath. That's 2. Right, another deep breath. That's 3. All right, so with your eyes still closed, I now call upon our angels, archangels, ascended masters, my higher self, and guardian angels to please enter this space in this present time. I call upon Archangel Michael to place a bubble of protection around us, and only beings of the highest vibration of pure love and light may enter in. So be it. Okay, you can open your eyes. All right, so as I am shuffling, I'm going to go ahead and set my intentions for this reading. So the first intention is that anyone who needs to hear the messages that come out in this reading will find it at the time that they need it most. I set the intention that anyone who comes across this reading, that there is a message in here for you. I set the intention that only messages for our highest good will come out. Okay. I set the intention that I will be given very clear words, phrases, and anything needed in order to communicate the message as clearly as possible so that it can be received as it was intended. Okay. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. I think I've welcomed you at least 3 times now. If you have not already and you find value in this video, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to this channel. You can hit the bell for notifications and it will let you know every time I post a new video. I post usually about 3 to 4 videos a week. This week has been a little bit different, but it is usually 3 to 4 videos a week. So if that's something that you are interested in, like I said, hit the bell and it will let you know every time a new video goes out. All right. Okay. So we'll start by pulling the oracles. Deep breath. All right. So what do the ancestors want us to know at this time? Past, present, future. All right. Take a time out. So that's a time for rest. Get into nature. Begin writing now. All right, so that is some big advice. Taking time to rest and recharge, and then getting out into nature. It says coexistence, gather, limit waste, and then begin writing now. Create, express, inspire. All right, so if you're not a journaler, this may be telling you that it's time for you to get started with that. All right, deep breath. All right, so what guidance do we need for the take time out? Okay. We've got the 7 of Cups, so that means there's lots of choices. Maybe you're overthinking that too. Advice for get into nature. Right, 2 cards came out. We've got the 6 of Swords. That is about kind of moving on from the trauma of the past. And then the Queen of Wands is about having the joy and excitement in what you're doing. All right, and then give me advice for begin writing now. Guidance. The 10 of Cups. So it brings a lot of emotional abundance. All right. So take time out. It's page 88. Siesta, recharge, rest. The ancient Romans are known for conquering lands and having large, strong armies, but they were not just soldiers. They were amazing architects and engineers, too. They built roads, walls, bathhouses, and aqueducts. Wealthy Romans enjoyed a variety of luxurious foods and wines, which they imported from all around the empire. The early Romans divided their day into 12-hour periods, depending on what the light was like and the time of year. They could accurately measure sunrise, midday, and sunset with sundials. The length of the shadows on the sundial helped them estimate the time of day. In the 6th hour on the sundial, wealthy Romans would stop what they were doing and go home to eat a leisurely lunch and have a siesta, rest or sleep, which comes from the Latin ora sesta, meaning 6th hour. The important thing about the siesta was that it allowed the Romans to rest physically, mentally, and spiritually before they tackled the remainder of their day. Oh my goodness! How would our life be different if we could all do things like that? Ancestors speak. This is a reminder that you need to nurture yourself. Even if you can't have a siesta, stop and recharge throughout the day. Have a cup of coffee or tea, or go for a walk on your lunch break. Take some time out to nurture yourself. Rest and look after your physical body. It is essential to do this before you become too tired or disconnected from your spirit and energy. Practice setting firm boundaries so that you have time to nurture yourself. Do not let other people's dramas or energy interfere with your self-care. It is important to look after your energy, so don't feel guilty about making rest and reflection part of your routine. Visualize a safe place and see yourself making a cocoon around yourself. Go to this place whenever you need to recharge. So it's just making that bubble of protection that we already started off this whole reading with. Okay, so the guidance was the 7 of Cups. So that is fantasies, choices, wishful thinking, the allure of temptation on the path, needing to move forward without knowing the full picture options. When you daydream your way into the future, the options that you have in front of you can feel both under and overwhelming. The path from A to Z is often nebulous, and life can present itself like a game of chutes and ladders that brings you down only to lift you up. Your desire to choose the one correct and perfect path can further complicate and muddle your decisions because there is no way to know everything that will spill forth from the cup that you choose. Use your intuition to decide, remembering that the temptation of shiny things can be illusory, while challenging paths will often hold unexpected opportunity. Ask your discerning heart what options honestly stand in front of you today, and even if things aren't exactly as they seem, choosing that which you truly desire will offer the most useful stepping stone right now. My wildest imagination is a tool that I can use to inform my future in a down to earth way. So I feel like that is saying that you might have to get creative, that there are lots of options out there as to how to bring this time in to rest and recharge throughout your day, but you might have to get creative about it, especially if you work outside the home and they don't give you time to go rest. And so it was already giving you some options of really, and the next card is the get out into nature. And so one of the things it was saying was that you can go and go for a walk on your lunch break, or just do something like even just 15 minutes of just like listening to meditative music, something that helps to calm you back down and like get you out of this space right here and just get you back into your body, get your body back grounded and ready to go. And so like this week with my work, we have just been insane, and it's just been constant. And I just saw 11:11. And it's just been constant, and there hasn't been a lot of opportunity to even breathe. And so I know that by the time I'm getting home, I am so irritable. I don't want to be around anybody. And the people at my home are the people who I want to actually be around, right? But yet, because I haven't taken care of myself through the day, they are not getting the best version of me. And then it was talking about that you need to do it before you become tired, because that's where you risk burnout. And I've definitely been there too. Still there. But you have to find a way to help, slow things down, because this pace you cannot keep up, for long term, because it will bring in illness. It will bring you down. All right. So moving to get into nature. It's page 52. Coexist, gather, limit waste. The sea and the land have always provided for the 𝐓𝐇𝐀𝐍𝐿 people, with the Alaskan forest giving trees for shelters, canoes, and totem poles, and the ocean providing fish and sea mammals for food and clothing. These people survive icy conditions by working in family groups, and this closeness means clan identity, knowledge, rituals, and laws that are preserved across generations. The clans are matriarchal and have an eagle or raven as their sacred animal. In the 𝐒𝐄𝐄𝐊 way of life, every living creature has a soul, and there is little difference between animals and humans. Respecting and communicating with animal spirits is essential for survival. An animal is killed only when needed. The hunter then gives thanks to the animal. The remains are treated respectfully, and nothing is wasted. To live a happy, balanced life, the 𝐒𝐄𝐊 people listen to the spirits and honor and care for the world around them. I think that's pretty cool that they were open up, to just the energies around them, in a way that, especially the Western world today, we don't actually look at animals like they have any real value. All right. The ancestors speak. Go outside and feel the sun on your face or the wind in your hair. Breathe in clean, fresh air. Walk through riverbeds or feel the soft green grass under your feet. Find balance and be one with the natural world, just as the 𝐒𝐄𝐊 people have done for thousands of years. Look at how much time you are spending inside, especially in air conditioning or artificial heating or under fluorescent lights. Your body needs to recharge by having access to natural light and fresh air. Notice how good it feels when you walk outside and experience the world around you. Take a look around at everything nature has provided for you. Your home, your clothing, your food are all gifts from Mother Earth. This card is encouraging you to look at how you can give thanks by limiting waste and sharing resources and knowledge with those who are close to you. Look at ways you can reduce your demands on yourself and your environment for happier, more balanced living. So, the advice with this is the Six of Swords, transition, help arriving at the perfect time, rites of passage, healing, moving beyond trauma or shadows of the past, support from others, personal evolution, a spiritual transition or journey. I accept help as I easily cross this transition. Okay, how does this tie in? I think that is the getting help or giving help. I think that's the help. And then the Queen of Wands is creativity, passion, determination, confidence, joy, bold expression, helping others as you build your kingdom power. So yeah, this is about going and helping others. So something to do with your environment though. You are capable and fierce. It's time to root into your purpose and boldly step into the limelight of your life. The Queen of Wands radiates creativity and passion wherever she goes, and when she enters a room, her exuberant charisma and confidence are palpable. Don't be afraid to be the center of attention. Stop acting small in order to make those around you more comfortable. Make sure fiery bursts of productivity are accompanied by laughter and gratitude, connection, appreciation, and love. It's okay to hold shadow in all of this light. Don't push it down so deeply that you can't find it again. Accept the parts of you that you don't openly share, the past failures that have held you back. They don't define you, so transmute that shadow, sit with it briefly, and then light it on fire because you don't need it anymore. I fill my world with an intense light that connects and incites passions. So, putting this together with the Get Into Nature, so part of the Get Into Nature card was the gathering and the working together with others, and then it's talking also about limiting waste, but this card is the energy of which you're going to be doing all of this. You are going to do it with a joyful heart. You're going to do it with passion and inspiration, and you're going to be excited about what you're out there doing. And then we've got the Begin Writing Now. That's page 26. Okay. Create, express, inspire. Inscriptions in Elder Furthark are the only surviving remnants of the language spoken by Germanic tribes early in the Common Era. This runic alphabet was used on stones, weapons, jewelry, and other items, with the earliest of these inscriptions dating as far back as the 2nd century. Let's see. The people of Scandinavia had a strong oral tradition in which long passages of history and other important information was passed down using stories and poetry. By the Middle Ages, Scandinavia had developed new boundaries and the language had evolved into distinct dialects such as Danish and Swedish. The written language was influenced by the Roman alphabet, although the use of the runic alphabet did continue. The earliest recorded piece of Danish literature, Gesta Danorum, The Deeds of the Danes, by Saxo Grammaticus, was published in approximately 1200 CE. In the tradition of the region's storytelling and poetry, it told the story of the first Danish kings from prehistory to the time it was written. In the early 1700s, Ludwig Holberg penned plays, comedies, and works about his history and philosophy. Holberg's most famous comedy, 𝐉𝐻𝐈𝐑𝐈𝐍𝐻, is still performed nearly 300 years on. The ancestors speak. Writing is a way to capture ideas, plans, dreams, and memories, as well as stories and history. It can also be therapeutic. You do not need to study or have any special tools to start writing. Put pen to paper and see what happens. Write for yourself, and as your creative talents are freed for others too. You have a talent for writing and expressing yourself. You may like to share your gift with others by having your writing published, or to keep a journal just for yourself. It doesn't matter what you write. It matters that you start writing and get your thoughts down. Write anything that pops into your head. Writing is a healing experience that helps you process things in your life. It can also help you inspire others. All right, so one thing that I do that I have added into most of the readings, and I didn't do it this time, is the automatic writing. And so let me go ahead and pull that up. Hold on. So I've talked about this some in some of my other videos, but I'll mention it again. All right. So the automatic writing, these are the channeled messages that I share with in my videos. And so the way that I do this is I ground myself, with breathing, get the environment, right. And then it's basically, I put my question up almost like a prayer. And then I sit back and I wait for things to come to me. And so I will start writing. So like this is Capricorn. What does Capricorn need to know at this time? So whatever your question is, it doesn't have to be that question. It's whatever you're wanting information on. Write your question down and wait for something, like whatever the first word is. And then as soon as you get that first word, start writing it down, and then just keep going and give yourself about, I would say, 5 to 10 minutes just of continuous writing. And anytime you get to that block of, where you're writing and then you run out of words, rewrite the question, and then just keep going. But usually if you'll just keep going with it, once I fill up a whole page, I usually am like, okay, but I can feel it. Like it's just, I'm getting it out as fast as I can. And then once it starts slowing down to where I can actually think about what the grammar is for it, that's when I know that the flow is kind of, eased. And so that's where I start wrapping it up. But that is a good way to start, getting your answers. That's a good way to tap into your intuition, to start getting answers back from, your spirit team. That is the second part of prayer, in my opinion, is you've put your questions up. Now let's get the answers. And so you can do that with the automatic writing. And so this is calling you to start at least journaling. But I mean, if you have even bigger things to share, start a blog. And then you can turn your blog into a book. I mean, but start writing. I've actually written 2 books myself. I wrote one, it's a book about breastfeeding. I wrote that back in 2007. I did it at like 2 and 3 in the morning when everybody was asleep. That was the only time I had where my mind was clear enough to be able to think. And I've always felt, even with my writing through, like typing, I have always known that was some channeling that was happening through that as well. Because the other book that I wrote, and I do actually have, if you check my bio on here, you'll find a link that will show you this book. It's For I Know the Plans I Have for You. I haven't looked at that in a while. Okay, so yeah, because that is my life verse. Is For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. And I have lost the verse. Is it I don't want to say it. Jeremiah 29:11. I think that's what it is. Jeremiah 29:11. I'm going blank. Okay, I just looked it up. It's his plans are for me. I'm sorry, I haven't even looked at that in a while to even remember that I did that. So you can look in my bio and you will find it. But what that is it was actually a collection from a blog post. I did encouragement messages for my church for a long time, like a couple years. I was doing encouragement messages, and so I knew when I did those that was not me. I knew that wasn't me the whole time, and I didn't know the word channeling. I didn't understand it at that time that that's what I was actually doing. But whenever I would get ready to write these messages, I would have no clue. Like, what am I going to write about? I have no clue. I know I need to, but I don't know what I need to write about. And it was like almost as soon as I got to the computer and I started typing, like I would have had something that was heavy on me, a question that I had been praying on for, around that time frame. That was usually what was getting answered for me. So I would start typing it, like a Bible verse would usually come up, and from there it would just bam, it would go, and I would type, and I have no idea where these words were coming from because they were not there. And then just all of a sudden, here it comes through, and I would know these messages were actually answers to things that I had already been praying about, but yet it was something that was broad enough that it did benefit others. And so, like, even though these were typically personal to me, whenever I would share these encouragement messages, I would always get some sort of response by people saying that actually connected to me a lot. I really needed to hear that. That was very, it was like constantly I kept getting told that my story that I was sharing of which I didn't have to give the details. And it's a lot like, the way that tarot kind of works too. I don't have to give the details to be able to give you, the experience that you can relate to. We don't have to go through the exact same thing to have a pretty good idea of what that feels like, and then to be able to get guidance from that. And so that's what I did with those messages. And from that, I was able to create a book from it. And so it's His Plans Are For Me. That's the name of the book. It's His Plans Are For Me. And in my About Me section, there is a link that you can find it there. So it's an ebook, but it is just all the encouragement messages, not all of them, but the ones that I found very impactful. It's a collection of the encouragement messages. So I started out, I sent these messages out just to my church as an email blast. Then they became a blog post. Then they became a book. So you can grow it from there, but it's a way to get you started so that you're not like trying to eat the elephant in one sitting, right? It's how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So this is how you can break down that bigger task if you are wanting to write a book. If you do have something that you can start small, and it kind of goes back into this card here about being creative, about the way that you get there. And the guidance to this was the Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Cups is community, love, soulmates, harmony in relationships and family, divine connections, heart opening and expansion, wholeness. This card has the powerful energy of connected hearts, giant love, and devoted acceptance. Often seen as the one big happy family card, it's a giant yes for relationships and love, and it predicts your fairy tale ending. And hey, you get to decide what this soulmates and unicorns ending looks like. Allow your heart's expansive energy to pour into all of your connections, including those with your community. So community has really come out a lot in this. In shadow, this card suggests that you need to look at how you feel about yourself within relationships. If you're looking for a white picket fence in order to find happiness, remember that your joy will come only from the inside out. By waiting for other people or better things to create your happiness for you, you undermine your own power to create feelings of love. Bring gratitude and generosity to your life every day. Focus on others and gift them your energy through time, kindness, and service. I live in a state of oneness by bringing harmony and love to my relationships. So, I mean, I do think that the writing, you're going to be able to impact the community with this, and it's going to bring a very positive impact, not just to yourself, but just to all around if you can really step into that gift and start, building it. And I mean, it starts maybe with just, like journaling, and journals do not have to be complicated. I will show you, like, well, is it here or is it over here? Sorry. Papers everywhere. All right, so this, you can do something just like bullet. Just, it doesn't have, these just kind of give me the guideline of this is what happened. One way that I did journaling a long time ago is that basically I would write whatever the questions were that I was praying about. I would bullet it, point it, just 1, 2, 3, 4, and write the question out. I would pray, and then I would sit back. I would have, it's pretty much dark, just like candlelight. And then I would have music playing, calming music playing to keep me connected to God, source, however you see that. And then I would sit and wait, just in the same way that I explained the channeled messages. I would wait for the words to come. And as soon as those words came, I would start writing it in for every single one. So it was just mainly bullet points, but then I would just write whatever answers came for each one of those. And I mean, I did that, every day. I would get up at 3 a.m. every day to do. I did a lot of things at 2 and 3 in the morning. That's where I find, the most peace in my home and the most connection to God. It's called the God hour. The 3 a.m. is called the God hour. And so it's where I know that I can find that connection the easiest. So I think that is great advice for where we're at. It's very positive. Like there's a lot, it's, you're nurturing yourself and then you're taking it out and putting it out into the world. I love that. All right, so I'm going to stop there. I just really wanted to get in, an ancestor check-in because I haven't done one in a while. And this week, since it's kind of an extra week, I'm going to start the zodiacs again next week. So I was just kind of filling in stuff this week. All right, so I will leave it there. If you have found value in this video, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to this channel. You can hit the bell for notifications and it will let you know every time I post a new video. Also, if you could please like, comment, share. That helps push this out to the algorithm. It helps the algorithm know that there is value in this video and it helps to grow my channel. And I would very much appreciate that. If you would like a personal reading, I do offer personal readings. You can find that link down in the description box below. I do 30-minute or 60-minute video messages. You do not have to be present for this. I just need to know, do you want a general relationship or career reading? After you've booked it and you tell me what one out of that, I will do the video for you. And then as soon as it's ready, I email it to you. So you don't even have to be there for it. And I'm trying to make sure I'm getting better about explaining that. And what I really love about the way that I do that is you get to keep it. You get to get back and watch it, as many times as you need to. So the information doesn't just vanish, because I know a lot of times when I finish a reading, it's gone. Like from my memory, it's gone. If I didn't have videos to remind me, most of the time, I don't keep that with me because I do too many readings for one. But the other thing is because as it's coming out, if you're really channeling the information, it wasn't ever here to begin with, right? So it's just passing through you. And that's what, I see. That's how I see this. And so that's why I like to do the videos, because you get to keep that. And you can actually go back and see, like, well, oh, how did this actually turn out? You can see it. All right, so I'll stop there. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.